Hi, I'm Jacori, and this is not a drill. Things are starting to get real. Poor Ciri is running for her life to get away from her Nilfgaard pursuers. Yennefer walked away from Geralt because she thought their love was just an illusion created by Geralt's last wish to the djinn. Julian Alfred Pancratz is just done with it at this point. Kai here is so done with that Doppler. At least Yarpen Zegrin and his crew got something good out of that dragon adventure. But now we're hitting 2 powerful episodes to wrap up Season 1. I have to tread carefully in preparing you for these 2 because there's a certain emotional response you'll get to making your own connections. I'll do my best to make sure I don't spoil that experience for you. I know you're ready to move forward, so let's get right into it. Number 1. Geralt returns to Centra. Recall that our season opened with a large army from Nilfgaard sacking Centra. Well, Episode 7 opens with Geralt looking at just how massive that army is as they make their way toward Centra. In other words, Geralt is now at the point in time that we started the season with Ciri. Geralt's story in this episode gives us the answers to some things we've not been sure about since Episode 1. Ciri's age at the start of the season, which is tied to how long it's been since Geralt was last in Centra during Pavetta and Duny's wedding. The story of where Geralt was during the sacking of Centra, and why Geralt and Ciri haven't met up yet. Number 2. New perspectives. Yennefer finds someone from her past, and they have a little time to catch up. Early on in that conversation, we hear a new perspective on Nilfgaard seizing power across the continent. Specifically, listen for mention of how the common people have fared under Nilfgaard's rule after those seizures. Number 3. Volga Forts. Episode 7 introduces Volga Forts of Rogavan. Volga Forts is a mage and a member of the Chapter of Sorcerers, a high chamber within the Brotherhood of Sorcerers that's responsible for the Brotherhood's critical decisions. We heard the chapter referenced briefly in Episode 3 through Yennefer, when she complained about her original assignment to Nilfgaard instead of Aedirn. There are logical reasons we haven't met Volga Forts before now. First, Yennefer doesn't know Volga Forts when he introduces himself to her in this episode. Remember that our information about the Brotherhood has come from Yennefer's storyline, and she disconnected herself from both the Brotherhood and Aretuza many years ago. Second, Volga Forts wasn't an involved and active mage at Aretuza until more recently. During the episode, an older mage gives additional background as to why that's the case. Keep an eye on Volga Forts in both Episode 7 and Episode 8. He may be new to the audience, but he's a major player in the events ahead. Number 4. Aretuza's new admission standards. In my Episode 2 video, I mentioned that in the books, Aretuza charges a high tuition for girls to attend. However, we also know that Yennefer didn't pay a tuition to attend, and that all the girls in her class were there because of a conduit moment, a moment where they used magic as a conduit of chaos, alerting mages to their presence. In Episode 7, which is full of Yennefer confronting her past, she learns about the chapter setting new admission standards for Aretuza, which correspond to that high tuition I mentioned. Listen for how Yennefer reacts to these and other changes since her ascension. Number 5. The Old Guard versus the New Guard. Ready for some political intrigue? Episode 7 includes a conclave of mages, not just chapter members, but various mages assigned to kingdoms across the continent. At this conclave, you will hear them debate on their role in the conflict between Nilfgaard and Centra. There's a clear split of factions between an older, more conservative group and a younger, more progressive group. See which mages fall into each side and how Yennefer, Volga Forts, Tissaia, Stregobor, and other key players shape the conversation and respond to the conclave's vote. Number 6. The Prophecy. It's been clear throughout the season that the people of Nilfgaard are driven by something of a spiritual nature, like crusaders who feel their god has sent them to conquer a land. Episode 7 shows this in full force, with several people representing Nilfgaard quoting what sounds like a religious scripture when speaking to others about their dedication to Nilfgaard's grand vision. That's actually parts of a prophecy that drives Emperor Emirvar Emrys. At the end of the episode, you'll hear that prophecy spoken in full by an unexpected source. By then, you should recognize some of the lines in it that you've heard from the Nilfgaardians throughout the episode. That's it. This was another quick one for you, and I think you're ready for episode 7. Check it out and let me know if this video was helpful for you. Also, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to get a notice when I post the video preparing you for the season finale, episode 8, Much More.